Hey everybody! We're going to do kind of a fun project today. We're going to make some custom wedding rings. I already have made one. I did record that, but I think that I'm going to just redo it because I learned a couple of things along the way that I think will be more helpful if I just show you how to do it right or how to do it a better way. I ordered a couple of ring mandrels. These are sterling silver. I got these from ringsupplies.com. This one goes from, I don't know, like a size 4 up to like an 8.5. And then this one goes from 9 to 13. And I ordered a couple of different kinds of ring blanks. This one is titanium, and it has sort of a wavy pattern in it. I don't know actually if you can even see it in this camera. I'm trying a different position for this end camera, which might be a little shaky because it's on a funny little stand. Anyway, so this is titanium and it has sort of a wavy channel cut in it. I also have this one, which is a black ceramic ring with a regular channel cut into it. And this one, which is a carbon fiber. So they're all really light, really lightweight and durable. So I'm going to start with this black ceramic one, which is the one that I've already done the mating one to. From Patron Adhesives Supplies, I ordered, that's where I got the ceramic ring blanks. And then I also ordered the synthetic opal colors from him. This is black emerald. This one is lava rock, and it's kind of like a black with some red in it. Lavender, which is really a blue and purple mixture. Pearl white, which is just kind of everything. And then the one that I'm using is this one, and it's called Deep Space Blue. I've already crushed this, but I found a better way to do it than how I showed you in the video that you probably aren't going to see. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that before I get started with the rest of this. Just a piece of this is stainless steel. It doesn't have to be. I just need something metal. And this is way bigger than it needs to be, but it's what I have at the moment. Most of these rings, the size of opal pieces are really too big to use as they come. So what I'm going to do is crunch them down some. And this is a piece of brass pipe that's just been cut into rings. And I'm going to use that to just sort of hold the stuff together. I'm going to dump all those in there. And then I'm going to put on my safety glasses so I don't get poop in my eyes. Plus they have really good cheaters on them so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And all I'm going to do is crunch them up. Which they're not crunching very good on here. I'm probably not hitting them hard enough. All right, so that's how I'm crushing this stuff down. And you don't want it all the same size. You know, a variety is nice, but the way that they come, what I found is that they're just too big to fit in the channels of these rings. All right, so as far as the mandrel goes, you got a couple of different options. There are different kinds of mandrels. I liked this one because it seems like it's easy to use. You could just put this in your chuck and hold it like that. That would be fine. I happen to have a set of collet chucks, so that's how I'm going to hold on to this. This is a 1/2-inch shank. So what I'm going to do is use my draw rod, which is just a 3/8 piece of all thread, and then thread my collet chuck on. And this end has the Morse taper, the MT2 taper on it. So I'm going to go ahead and seat my ring mandrel in there. Then this gets pulled back into the spindle. And then you tighten it from the back. And that pulls the collet chuck into the taper on your spindle, and you should have a real, true running mandrel, which looks pretty good. It's hard to tell without anything in there. So we're going to be using Starbond CA glue to set the inlay in place. And since I don't want to glue the ring to the stainless steel mandrel, I'm going to put some painter's tape on just to help protect the mandrel a little bit. I don't know if it's going to show up or not, but this is marked with the different sizes. It's stepped down in half sizes. So this is a size 5 ring, so it's going to fit up on there, in theory. So this is all the way loose. It doesn't quite go on up there, does it? Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't think I had any trouble with the other size. I suppose that they're probably all a hair different. But I'm going to put this around there and then slide this on. And then this tightens, well, this expands the mandrel, so it makes it grip the ring blank. Let me see if that looks like it's running true. Okay, so I've got the ring running true. Now that we have that, I have 3 different kinds of Starbond that I'm going to use on this. I've got the thick, which is what we're going to use first, because that's going to set the inlay in. And then I'll use medium if I feel like I need it in a couple of places. I don't think that I did use much of the medium. And then the super thin is going to set it, the smaller pieces, and then the powder, because I also have some mica powder mixed up to fill in the small gaps. This is a mixture of a color called Midnight and then Interference Blue. So the Interference Blue is a pearly color, but it color shifts to a blue. So that I think is going to look nice with the inlay that we have. And this will just sort of help me keep the extra bits. But in addition to the tray, I'm going to put some wax paper in there because it's easier to collect it and put it back in the little vial later. Okay, so this is just going to help me hold all the stuff together. These gloves aren't really the kind that C doesn't stick to, but I just want something on my fingers to help keep some of it off of me. So the first thing we're going to do is put my inlay back down there and get the thick. Turn this on and just let it go. I have this on the lowest torque setting. Okay, so I've got a base layer of thick CA. Some of these might still be a little big, but we're just gonna tap them in here. kind of not worry about where they go. Okay. I'm just going to take the back of the tweezers and just kind of set them down in there. Although for the ones that are really too big, I don't really want them sticking out of the channel too much if I can help it. It's just less that I have to take off with the carbide tool or sand off later. You want to be a little careful about using accelerator at this point, because you don't want it to bubble. So I'm going to let that sit for just a couple of minutes. And then I'll hit it with just a quick little spritz. These channels are not very big. This is a 6mm wide ring total. Guess I can probably do it like this. Oops, that's a lot. I found this easier to do out of here, but I'm just gonna... I'm gonna just put tiny drops of this just to set that in place. Apparently I didn't actually record the turning of the blank that we've been working on, so I went back and dug out this footage so that I could just show you guys how easy it is to turn the inlay down, and also how forgiving these ceramic ring blanks are. I had gone off the sides of both of them with the carbide tool to clean up some CA glue, and you really can't tell it doesn't leave a mark. So they're really easy to work with. You really can't screw them up. And they come in different colors. They come in black ceramic, white, pink, maybe like a purple. So there are some other options for it, but I think the black looks really sharp. This is a titanium blank with kind of a wave pattern in it. I've colored the channel black with a Sharpie marker because apparently when you're using reflective metals, if you have any little bit that isn't covered up with either stones or powder, it will reflect, and I guess it looks kind of funny. So I just colored in the inside with a Sharpie. I don't want it real tight because this has to expand to grab the ring. I guess maybe that's another reason that electrical tape might be better than painter's tape. I just scraped it off of the stainless steel into a piece of paper so that I can funnel it back into the vial. Now I've got some different sized pieces. This guy, just gonna catch all the extra bits. And I'm gonna do thick first. Thick. To set the stones in initially. And I am going to use a little bit of accelerator, but you do need to be careful with the accelerator. First, I'm just going to go around the channel and lay down a bit of thick. The process is going to be the same here. I just have a much better camera angle set up so that you can actually see the ring blank. It's just too far away from the normal camera mount that I use. So same situation. I'm starting out with the thick CA glue, and I'm just, going to town with the inlay, pushing it down into the channel with my little tweezers. So a couple of little improvements that I made with this set of rings. The electrical tape does seem to work better. It's a little stretchy, so I think that that's good. And the CA glue really doesn't like to stick to it as readily as it does to the painter's tape. The other thing is I'm still using that tray, but just an open manila folder was a much better option for the bigger things, and then the paper works even better than that. So here I'm just using a piece of regular window screen to try to filter out the really, really small pieces, because I'm going to go back in with those and try to fill the small holes instead of doing the mica powder. So the thing with the mica powder, it works fine. The rings that Patrick Adair makes on his website, they use glow powder, so they're kind of glow in the dark, and I didn't want glow in the dark, so I was just going to use the regular mica powder. And I do think that it looks nice, but in some cases you'll see at the end I'm going to put pictures of both of the black ceramic rings up. I think that it tends to just muddy it a little bit, or that it can. It may just have been the way that I did it. The good news is that if you get done with one of these, particularly with the ceramic blanks, now I couldn't really do that with this one because of the channel. I could soak it in acetone, but I couldn't turn the actual stone inlay out. So what I did with the 7.5 size of the black ceramic rings, I put that back on the lathe after it was done, and I cut out the first maybe millimeter or so of the inlay and did it over. On this titanium ring here, I'm putting in the really, really small pieces. So these are the pieces that I crushed down into almost powder. I'd gone back and crushed down that deep space blue opal even further, like I did with this black emerald, and then I filled in the whole top of the ring with that, and then I finished it the same way that you're going to see here in just a second. I definitely touched the titanium ring blank with the carbide, and I didn't notice that it really did a lot either. I think that it might just add some scratches that you'll have to take out when you sand it. but I did not notice any ill effects, and I did the same thing as I did before. I went kind of down the sides to get the CA glue off that had, dripped over. All right, so I wet sanded 220, 320, 400, 1000, 1500. And now I'm going to use this polish that I got from Patrick Adair Supplies. I have mirror finish, medium, and rough. So I'll start with the rough. Does not take very much of this stuff. This polish is really, really easy to use. I just put a drop on a paper towel, put it on the ring, worked it in a little bit at a lower speed, and then I turned the speed up and buffed it, I guess, back off. I started with the rough, and then I went to the medium, and then I went to the mirror finish, and it looks fantastic. This did not require a ton of sanding. Like I said, I only went 220, 320, 400, 1000, 1500, and then these 3 grits of polish, and they came out really nice. I think this little set of the 3 grades of polish was only like 15 bucks or something, maybe 20. In any case, it was not very expensive, and you don't need very much polish for each ring, so that should last a long time. I did have some stuff I wanted to clean up on the edges of the ring, so I've got, this is 1000 grit wet dry paper that I'm using right now, just with a drop of water on it, and then I'll go through and do the same process with 1500 and call it good. I kind of got the edges a little bit with the polish, but it's hard to do it on this kind of a mandrel. And here's the final product. These are the titanium bands and the black emerald, which actually has a lot of blue flashing in it, which is very cool. And then these are the deep space blue. This is the one that I redid without the mica powder. This one has the opal and the mica powder. And just in case you're wondering why I'm making wedding rings, I did because Marie and I decided after 25 years of being together that we were going to get married. So I made ours. And Bailey says he doesn't care about any stupid rings or ceremonies. He just wants more chicken. Sit. Sit. That's a good